used to play Wayne Newton in Las Vegas, you know. And
play in Wayne Newton's band.
No, I used to play behind in
Oh,
the band
right,
behind Wayne Newton,
right.
but he'd always get standing ovations. And I remember I walked out to the tables one time, and they had little cards on the table that said, "Mr. Newton is accustomed to a standing ovation." So I told the guys in the band, I said, "Well, I finally figured out why he's getting the standing ovation, because there's certainly nothing he's doing."
That is good marketing. Yeah. Call to action.
Anyway,
You're
so
supposed to stand.
the America tune, I always liked it. It wasn't because of the patriotic thing. It's just a beautiful jazz tune, and so I decided to do it. And I wrote this some hip changes out on some hippy-dippy, like modernistic changes on it with a 5-trumpet choir in the beginning, and then went into like McCoy Tyner, bing, bang, bing into it, and then we played it on the first cut. And so I decided to call the album America, because I figured the disc jockeys couldn't say no to that.
A group of LA musicians.
It was Christian Jacob, Kevin Axton, Santos Savino, who's a drummer that's on all my stuff. He's from Las Vegas. We used to play shows together in Vegas. You know. So he comes down for all my stuff, and he's on every one of my albums. He's a great drummer.
Yeah, I've played a couple times. Last times I've been in the seat, music from the last Bill Holman charts disc, and he's on that along with some of the other artists that you mentioned.
Right. Yeah.
Let's talk about another aspect of your artistry, your career, is composition. And I think we're going to be hearing some of your compositions. Are they new compositions, or are they just originals of yours tonight here at Jazz Live?
I don't know about new. You know, I mean, music is timeless. I mean, I can't remember sometimes when I wrote this or whether it's new or some new, some old, some medium. I don't know about the timing on it. But yeah, I am what they call a tunesmith, and like I just write tunes. I come home from a gig and I'll sit down at the piano and write out a little theme or something, and then work on it and develop it. And that's my hobby. You know, music has been my profession all my life, and it's still been my hobby too. So
that's pretty lucky.
It's like people going in their garage after work and work on wood or something. I go into my garage and work on tunes.
Right. So you hear melodies in your head, or harmonics?
Yeah. Mostly the changes. Like I have the changes. I look at the changes as a melody, because the changes are melodic structure underneath a melody. You can have a stable melody and use different changes. So the changes are moving around, and the melody is staying the same. So you turn it upside down, the changes are the melody in a way, compositionally speaking.
So then you've got these compiled into a book, is kind of your latest project.
I have a new book out that I put out. It's called New Jazz Standards. And I just recorded Sam Most, who was one of my best friends for about 40 years. And we just finished recording about 2 weeks before he passed away. This was a couple of years ago. And he did 12 and picked out 12 of my tunes, and I took them in the studio, and we did the record for Summit Records, and it came out great. It got up to number 7 for a while on the charts, Sam. And they're all my tunes, so I called it Sam Most New Jazz Standards. I just recorded Scott Whitfield, and he picked another 12 tunes, and that's going to be Scott Whitfield New Jazz Standards Volume 2 on Summit Records. We haven't mixed it yet. And then I'm talking to Larry Kuntz, who is a great guitar player in LA, and we're going to do 12 more, and that's going to be Volume 3. So it's going to be New Jazz Standards is the theme of this record series, plus my book is called New Jazz Standards, which has all the songs in it. So.
And these are all original compositions
of
yours?
Yeah. Right. So.
Well, that's so is that something that you've been working on for a long time? That sounds like quite a concept.
All my life I've been writing, so I finally compiled all it. Dug stuff out of drawers and put it all together and just made a big book out of it. It's like over 300 pieces of music, and I haven't even got into the ones that have lyrics yet. I'm going to put song books out, which is going to be extra.
Excellent. So is there a place where people can find out more information about this? Do you...
Well, I'm not going to put it out until I get the bass clef done. I'm still right in the middle. I've got I'm putting 4 books out as one concert, B flat, E flat, and bass clef. I haven't got the bass clef quite finished yet. We're just with the printers right now. Once I get all 4 books, actually there'll be 6 books with the 2 song books, then I'm going to maybe put some ads in International Musician and a couple Downbeat or so, I don't know, something to kind of advertise the things. And schools, that's one of the things. Instead of have the kids play originals, the American Songbook is great, and we all play it, and we're all going to play it forever. Then there's the jazz standards. So I'm just putting on my book new jazz standards, just throwing some stuff out there, you know.
Great.
And
Yeah, there's a whole thing about that, about artists recording some of the pop music of the day and having those as new jazz standards. So that's a good meme to get on top of and to ride a bit.
And then the records are going to be the new jazz standard theme plus the book, so people can hear the record and then look at the music and lock it in, you know, in a way.
Fantastic. So you're based in LA, and there's a lot that we could talk about, and I'm going to try to see how we can fit some of this in. But one of the things that was interesting to me was that in the 1960s timeframe, you were playing with Stan Kenton, in early 60s.
Right.
And you grew up here in Southern California for the most part, but then you moved away, and so you were kind of part of that jazz West Coast scene, or there. Some of the musicians and the music around L.A. Was there and was recorded as part of that in some of the
Well,
Stan
when I lived in Los Angeles, I was in grammar school and junior high, and then when I moved to Las Vegas in the 8th grade, so I wasn't really a part of any music in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
But my uncle Bobby Sherwood, who had hit records on the road with big bands, the tenor player in his band married my Aunt Caroline, and it was Dave Pell. You know, you've heard of the Dave Pell Octet. I mean, he's got 35 records. I mean, it was like this West Coast sound.
Right.
And so when I was a little kid, I used to listen to my Uncle Dave's record. You know, it was like modern jazz.
Right.
And the trumpet player with Dave was Don Fagerquist, who, and when I heard him play, I wanted to play just like him.
Were you playing at the
No,
time?
my mother got out of the music business when I was 5 to keep me out of it because it was such an insecure business. And she was right, but it was too late. I was on the road with the band when she was singing with the band when I was a kid, and I heard the music every night in the theaters and stuff. And so
what was it? You're very associated with that sound of Don Fagerquist. That's in lots of the writing. What was it about his music that touched you?
Well, I mean, he was a trumpet player, and he played this flowing, beautiful, lyrical, wonderful, happy, joyous type trumpet sound. You know, it's like the way he played, the way he bent the notes, and it was all beauty. It's coming out of his horn. You know, where I hear other people like, you know, a little more. I mean, you know, everybody loves Maynard. You know, but it's like bang, you know, it's like force, bang, crash. You know,
right.
where Don plays warm and beautiful and lyrical, and that's the way it touched me. Like, and so I like to play like that. I always tried to play like that, and I never really could, but I was inspired by him and influenced by him.
Mm-hmm. So then that was early on when you were hearing
of course. I was like
his music.
6 years old, 7 years old. I'm listening to it. You know?
So then you were in Vegas for quite a while.
I went to high school in Las Vegas.
Right, and then you stayed in Vegas and played
shows and
played shows.
I traveled with Robert Goulet and Paul Anka, and I played with Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald. I worked a lot with in Vegas, and Tony Bennett. And there was a lot of good things going on there.
So, what about that scene kept you out of the recording scene?
Well, there was no recording in Las Vegas. Las Vegas was all shows and showbiz. You know, and L.A. was the recording. You know, you have to move to L.A. to you know, there's where the recording was. I mean, there's recording studios in Vegas, but I mean, there's nothing going on there. It's more.
To me, it was amazing, especially during that period when you know, people were coming through there, and there were these big bands that were playing. That there wasn't more of that. I guess there's Basie in Vegas, or there's, you know, a few, you know, here and there, but that just seems amazing to me.
I remember back then in the 60s, Woody Herman was on the road, and he played the lounges, you know, and when I was on the road, I used to play drums with my Uncle Bobby's band on the road. We played up in Harrah's at the lake and stuff, and I'd see Woody's band playing in the lounge, you know, and they'd be playing Sal Nestico would get out and play those up tempos. I'd be just sitting there, oh my God, oh man, you know, it was great. And Jake Hanna was playing drums. It was beautiful.
So I want to. We have just a minute left.
Yeah.
Tell us about what's next, Carl. You live in Los Angeles. Is being part of that scene a good thing, or you've got other things that you're trying to do? What do you?
Well, right now I'm finishing my book up,
Right.
and I'm talking to, like I said, Larry Kuntz about putting another new jazz standards records together, which will be the third one. and getting the book finished up, and I'm trying to keep my golf game together. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing, especially in SoCal. So
I mean, I've had 3 holes in ones and 5 deuces on par 4s.
Way to go! So you have been working at it.
Oh yeah. Well, in Las Vegas, we played the shows at night and we played golf during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't have any work during the day. In LA, the studios are in during the day, so the golf is a little haphazard there. But in Vegas, we played golf. The musicians, we played golf every day. That's why we became good players.
Well, it is such an honor to have you here at Jazz Live San Diego. Can't believe it's been so long since you've been to San Diego, and we'll have to remedy that and get you back down here.
Love to come down. I love it down here. It's beautiful.
Thanks for being with us tonight at Jazz Live San Diego.
Thank you. What timing?
Excellent. Great.
Yeah, we did okay.
Oh no,
Can we do it again? Can we start from the top?
We could. Yeah. We could. I've got a whole other set of questions that we could go through. Okay. Wave goodbye to your fans.
All right.
Bye bye.